Thank you, Ali, for meeting me again today. We had a great conversation yesterday regarding what you're doing at your campus at the University of Essex. But to bring this into context, let me do a formal presentation to the audience since they don't know who you are. Welcome everyone to another edition of Insights into College Admissions. Today with me is Ali Gibson from the University of Essex. So Ali is the International Business Development Officer for the university. And Ali, please tell us in a few words your background, what you do for the university, and then we'll take it from there.
Sure. So thank you very much for having me today. So a little bit about me. I, as you say, am the International Business Development Officer at the University of Essex. In a nutshell, that basically means that I have management over our fee-paying study abroad program, so the recruitment to the program and the partnerships that we have within that program. I look after different custom programs, so for universities wanting to send their students to us for a non-standard length of time. I also look after the gap year program and other more academic specific programs. And also I have management for developing the International Summer School, which is due to launch in 2023. And I hope to be able to tell you a little bit more about that later on in the conversation. It's a pleasure to be here today.
That's great. So I know yesterday we had a very fruitful talk regarding what you do and how your work has been able to help the university in terms of the different programs that you mentioned. But I was mostly interested in the summer programs, and you told me that the information is still new.
Yep.
And then we will probably, have another conversation later on, unless you got something new from our conversation yesterday you would like to share.
No, I don't have anything new since yesterday, but what I'm very much planning to do is I'm hoping to be able to launch the program in full during the autumn, probably around November. So if at all possible, I would love to be able to send you some more information and maybe have another chat about that then, because I think it's going to be a great opportunity. Sounds
great, Ali. Thank you very much. So then let's delve into what we talked about yesterday, because that was so important for a lot of students who may be interested to do a study abroad or a gap year. So those are the two programs concurrently running at your campus. Please tell us a little bit about each programs, and then maybe I'll have a follow-up question for you.
Of course. So I think the key thing to start off with is when I say study abroad throughout this conversation, I'm not talking about exchange. So exchange at the University of Essex is managed a little bit differently. And that falls under our fantastic Essex Abroad team who look after our bilateral exchange agreements. If anybody watching this is planning on coming to Essex as an exchange student, please feel free to follow up with me directly, and I'll be more than happy to signpost you to the correct team. But for the purposes of this conversation, I am talking about fee-paying study abroad. So coming to the university for either a semester, a full academic year, or a full calendar year, and paying us fees to do so. Those are tuition fees. In addition to the study abroad program, we have another of other more specific academic programs for short-term students on offer. So we run something called the gap year program, which is essentially for pre-university students, and it's designed for students who want to come and experience what studying in a UK institution is like, and also who maybe are still thinking about what they would like to do at degree level. So you might not be dead set on the subject that you want to major in just yet, or if you even want to study your whole degree in the UK, and that is absolutely fine. That's kind of the purpose of the gap year. So with the gap year, you'd come to us for either a semester or a full academic year. You could pick and choose modules that you wanted to take across our entire portfolio of first year level options available to you, and basically just dip your toe in the water and have a little explore, see what works for you. The other options that we have on offer are our programs that are done in conjunction with the Edge Hotel School, which is a working 4-star hotel on our Colchester campus. So students for this can come to us for a full year and follow either our events management or our hospitality management pathway. We have a specific acting programme as well, situated on our Loughton campus on the outskirts of London. And so students again would come for a year and follow year 2 of our BA Acting International pathway. The other thing that we offer as well, which was brand new for this year, is our British Studies programme. And British Studies is very exciting because it enables students who have maybe got, a vested interest in the UK, who are interested in learning and delving a little bit deeper into what it means to be British, and kind of empowering them to be able to learn at a deeper level. So students following the British Studies pathway will take modules in history, they'll take modules in language, they'll do literature, law, government, and hopefully enrich their understanding of what Britishness is, of what, the culture of Britain is, the British kind of legacy that we've had worldwide, and hopefully discover something, a little bit deeper than, red phone boxes and the Queen and the Beatles and tea and scones.
Great, thanks for that. I just want to clear something out. So
Sure.
You mentioned the exchange program. So the exchange program will be for students which university or have an agreement with the University of Essex. So that's a different programs that those students will go directly from one campus to the next. But everything else that you laid out, I'm assuming that's under your purview, and all those programs will be base fee programs for students who are interested to study. Is that right?
That's exactly right. And while we do have some study abroad fee paying agreements for that one-way mobility to Essex, we absolutely, unlike exchange, do not need an agreement to be in place for the student's home university to welcome somebody into either our study abroad or our gap year programs. So I think that's a very important distinction. If you're thinking about exploring your study abroad options for your time away out of your degree, please, don't look at the University of Essex and go, oh, okay, well, my university isn't partnered with you, so I can't go and pay, tuition fees as a study abroad student. That is absolutely not the case, and we'll be able to accept students irrespective of the universities that they come from.
Okay, so long as the student meets the requirements for attending your program, that whether they come from another university or not, that's fine, and it will be fee-based.
Precisely, yeah.
Okay, it will be fee-based. So now, having offered all these different programs, let's say if a student did the study abroad or the gap year or whichever of the programs you mentioned, and that student now decides to apply to the University of Essex, does that tip the scale for the student once they apply to the university?
Well, I think, there's always a benefit of, wanting to know a student's motivations for wanting to study at a certain university, right? So if a student's, let's use the example of a gap year student before we start with the study abroad pathway, because the two are a little different. Sure. So if you're a gap year student and you've come to the University of Essex and you've kind of tried it out, you've enjoyed it, and you would like to start an undergraduate degree with us, I think that would be looked favorably on by our admissions teams for sure, because we would know that your motivation for wanting to study with us was based on that previous experience. You had a great time and you want to continue your degree with us, basically. I will say that for gap year students, you would need to ensure that you had fulfilled all the requirements to be able to progress onto that degree that you were interested in. So for students who are looking to do the gap year with a mind to potentially then transferring to the University of Essex, as part of your research, and research is super important for, irrespective of where you are choosing to study abroad, whether it's for a degree or a study abroad year as part of your own degree, absolutely research. But I will say, if you are even remotely considering doing the gap year and then going into a degree with us, you would need to make sure that the modules that you take as part of that gap year will fulfill our requirements for, having essentially completed that first year of study for the degree. So let's say, for example, you want to take psychology, you're interested in psychology. That's great. But when choosing your modules for your first year, or courses, as I believe, the term is more often used in the US, then you'll need to make sure that you basically meet our minimum kind of requirements for that. And that is absolutely fine. What you would need to do is make that known to our Essex Abroad team when you complete your application. The team will then be able to help you go through the module guides and speak with admissions on your behalf, which is again something that I would come into. That's something that I would help out with, and basically ensure that the modules that you are taking are things that we could potentially look at for further entry into a degree. Now, for study abroad, it's a little bit different because by and large, if you're studying abroad with us, the aim isn't really to transfer to the University of Essex after the study abroad period. Obviously, we do have that. So students will come to us, they will fall in love with us, and they'll want to, they'll go, hey, actually, I much prefer studying in this environment in England. I want to complete my studies here. That is absolutely fine. Again, we know what your motivations are, and we would take what you'd studied during the study abroad year, as well as the curriculum that you'd taken at the home university or the original university into consideration. I think for students who are coming to study abroad with us with the intention of finishing up back at home, so they've come to us as part of their degree, maybe for their third year of a 4-year course, again, we would look at that very nicely. So, for example, if you're applying to do a postgraduate degree in the UK, you will need to provide basically a reason, or you'll basically need to tell us about your motivations for wanting to study in the UK, right? This is a UK VI requirement, and it's also to do with our admissions process. So for students who were in that position, yeah, we would look very kindly upon it. And I will say as well that for students who study abroad with us and then come back to do a postgraduate degree, we will award 10% tuition fee discount off that first year of postgraduate study for students, basically as a loyalty discount, as a thank you for saying, to say thanks for coming back,
Thank you very much for the distinction, because now it's a little bit clearer to me and also to the audience who will be watching this, that so the gap year is more of a curriculum-based program whereby the student has a certain amount of courses that they need to fulfill in order for them to meet the requirement for the gap year. And how long is the gap year usually for a student?
So a gap year, I mean, you'd have thought it was pretty obvious, right? Because it says gap year, but it actually isn't. So students on the gap year program, much like the standard study abroad program, can come for a full academic year, or they can just come for a semester. So either the autumn or the spring summer semesters. I will say, if a student is thinking seriously about studying abroad with us and then looking to potentially transfer into year 2 entry, if that's a possibility, don't come for a semester. You'd need to come for the full year. But if you're a gap year student and you aren't really thinking, hey, I want to transfer and do, my whole degree in the UK, I just want to see what studying in the UK is like, and then I'd like to go and I'd like to do my, college degree elsewhere, absolutely fine. You will still receive accreditation for the program. And in that case, you could definitely do just the semester with us.
Okay. So just one thing I need to clarify for the gap year. So what if they have to complete the modules, how many modules or courses will say that they complete the full thing and have a certificate? Well, I don't know what you guys reward them at the end of the gap year, so that it shows that they have completed a certain amount of credits.
Sure. So hopefully, to shed some light on this, how it works is it doesn't matter what kind of program you're doing with us. You can be doing the gap year, you could be doing the regular study abroad program, whichever route you take. At the end of the academic year or the semester, whichever kind of time period you choose to spend with us, we will issue you with an academic transcript. And this will detail all of the modules or courses that you've taken and show the marks awarded in each one. And it will also show you the credits that you've accumulated throughout your time with us. So just to provide a little more info on our credits, how this works is typically we would expect students to take 120 Essex credits over the course of the academic year. So this is around 60 ECTS, and it normally correlates into 4 modules per semester. So for students who would be coming to us for a single semester only, they would be taking around 4 modules, attaining 30 Essex credit no, 60 Essex credits and 30 ECTS. Got that the wrong way around just there.
Okay, okay. Okay, so that it depends on the student, but the transcript that they will receive from you, those credits will be able to be, they are transferable at the university worldwide. Is that right?
They are transferable. Obviously, it's kind of at the discretion of that other university as to whether or not they accept the credits, or indeed if the study taken at Essex meets their credit requirements. So, you know, for students who are looking to study with us and then maybe go on to university study elsewhere, I definitely have a chat with your admissions office first at the college that you're looking at. For students who are already enrolled in a university and would like to come and study with us as part of their degree for study abroad, it is so important, and I cannot reiterate this enough, it is so important for the students to take a look at our module lists. So we've got all of our module catalogues online that are available to study abroad students with, you know, full course descriptions, learning outcomes, course content, all of that. It is so, so, so important that you decide what you want to take and you go to your home's international relations office, you know, your global studies office, your study abroad office, whatever you call it, and get that signed off, because you need to know that the course that you study at Essex is going to transfer credit back. So do make sure that you have those conversations early on. If you're not sure how to approach those conversations as a student, that's what I'm here for. You know, I'm here to support you the whole way, as is the Essex Abroad team who look after the applications and wider module selection. So yeah, please, you know, don't be afraid to start up a conversation with us about this kind of thing if you're at all worried or a bit lost about it, because it's what we're here for. You know, we're here to help, and we're here to make that whole application journey as stressless and seamless as possible.
I have one final question for you, Ali. How does this program help a student, let's say, was very interested to come in and study at your university, though they don't have the funding? Do you support any student who would be interested yet doesn't have enough money for some scholarships?
Yep. So we do have a study abroad scholarship in place. So there are a limited amount of these scholarships, unfortunately. We can only award 12 a year, and these are awarded as £750 off our overall tuition fee. So although that's what we offer as an institution for study abroad scholarships specifically, there are other ways of funding. So specifically for students from the United States, you can transfer your federal aid over and use that while you study abroad if you're eligible for federal aid. We also accept things like Gilman-McLean scholarship recipients. That is absolutely fine if you're receiving funding through those sources. And we are also a member of BUTEX, which is an alliance of British universities. And students who are applying to study abroad at Essex, either for a fee-paying term or on an exchange basis, are eligible to apply for BUTEX scholarships as well. So there are lots of different funding sources available.
So that will be also, those fundings will be available to students coming from other countries outside of North America, the US and Canada and so forth.
So BUTEX and also the study abroad scholarship for sure. We don't have any restrictions on where students have to be from to apply for the study abroad scholarship. So it doesn't matter where you're from in the world, you can apply for that. With regard to the BUTEX funding, again, my understanding is that that can be applied to by anybody from anywhere. Obviously, with federal aid funding and Gilman-McLean scholarships, it's a little bit different. I'm pretty sure those are entirely US specific, but lots of different countries have lots of different portable student loans and funding bodies as well. So my advice to any student who is looking to study abroad, who isn't sure about how they're going to support themselves, do speak to your student finance body. Normally this is at a national level. Have a little chat with them about whether or not you're eligible for a portable loan or portable grants or funding to enable you to study abroad. There's lots of different options available because more and more governments globally are recognizing the importance of study abroad. You know, it heightens employability, it makes people more globally connected, it enhances language skills, and it increases intercultural awareness in an ever more connected world. So lots of governments are, tapping into that and recognizing that it's a thing that our students need to do to make themselves more employable post-graduation. So yeah, if the University of Essex scholarship doesn't quite cover anything, have a chat, see what funding is available to you elsewhere.
Thank you, Ali, for such a wonderful session, insight about your programs at the University of Essex. And for those of you in the audience who got a chance to listen to Ali and those insightful information, I hope that's very helpful to you. And if you need any more questions, you can reach out to Ali directly, or you can shoot me an email, info@louisedconsulting.com. Then I can either put you in contact with Ali, or I can try to help you however I can. So thank you again, Ali, and I will look forward to catching up with you next time.
Thank you so much, Sean, and thank you, everybody.